Hi, superstars. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. I am super excited because we're back. I've taken a little bit of time off the podcast, and I am so excited to be back and come in here weekly with you to know the truth, for us to live on spiritual principle, and to align with our unique divine calling. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. So the second segment, we're going to actually have a call-in caller and actually answer their question, decoding their question. So I'm really excited. This week's caller is a very important question that each and every one of us have to deal with in our relationships. The third section of the call is going to be a universal law lesson. This universal law this week is a law of non-attachment. There's only one universal law. It's a cause and effect, or you can call it the universal law of oneness, but there's many distinctions, and every week we'll be going over a distinction. Also on here, just want you to know that I'm super excited. We may be having some new guests coming on, and we also may do a live podcast on Zoom, so some of you can go join on that as well. I will keep you posted. So let's do this thing. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out. We come together each week, 11 to 22 minutes, really, truly just to get our mind right as a community. So in this first, just an energy update, I wanted to say that right now, from an astrological perspective, we just went through a Taurus new moon, and now we're kind of shifting into the new calibration around that. But we're going into a retrograde. We're in a retrograde from May 4th to October 13th of Pluto in retrograde. So what does that mean exactly? That means transformation. That means power, death. That means all those things. So generally that means that we're going to be kind of in stuck cycles. So I don't know about you, but I definitely have my stuck cycles. I know when I'm reverting back into my old way, things like isolating, things like getting too much into my work, all those things, not getting grounded in nature, not really truly being one with the divine. So whatever it is, really the energy update for each and every one of us this week is taking a look at, we know that we're going from an old world to a new world. We know we're going to the great awakening. And so what does that mean? That means that we have birthing pains, and that the way we did things before will not work ahead. Okay. So in this kind of time, as we're going through energy updates and energy, unfolding, it can be super intense. And, one of the things is to really understand that how we used to do it is not going to work. So that's my question for you today is what are you doing in your life that you used to do that is no longer working? Okay. So as we go through this in like even May 10th, we're going to go through Mercury transitioning into Taurus and shifting communication styles towards practicality and grounded thinking, which I love this because the theme of my life right now is simplify and multiply. And so as I say, you're either like living or you're dying. Universal law teaches us that you're either spiraling up or you're spiraling down. Okay. So you have to look at your life right now and know that, hey, it's a kind of a do or die. Like you're going to have to push yourself through some of this. And I know that retrogrades, people just think, well, just let it go and whatever. But sometimes you got to get your mind right? If we just let it spiral and stay in the negativity and stay spiraling, then we're going to get a lot more of that. We're informing our subconscious mind, we're informing all of it, and we're going to end up having our life's not going to look good at the end of the retrograde, right? We want to just stay, even though you may not be going out in the external world to do a lot of doingness, you do want to absolutely go into the aspect of yourself and get your mind right. Super important to do that. Okay. So remember that the next level in all of our lives is not something you chase. It's something that you attract. It's something that you allow in the flow. So just ask yourself, where are you resisting? Where are you not in flow? And really allowing that to really let go and receive. Okay. So second thing is the call-in question. This is actually an amazing question, something that we all probably can relate to. So this week's question comes in from Jessica from Austin, Texas, USA. She's a soul-led woman navigating the complexities of modern relationships. And she says, I'm dating a man I really care about. We both have kids from previous marriages. The issue is he lets his kids stay up really late, 11, maybe even midnight. I believe in a constructive routine, especially school nights, and it's becoming a real point of tension. How do I handle this without seeming controlling or creating conflict? Great question. Well, first of all, it sounds like you're dating and not married. So this is good because you need to figure this out before you get married. Okay. The thing is what we need to know is that there's all kinds of relative truths, right? There's ultimate truth that are axioms and things that like energy can't be destroyed, right? We're eternal, immortal beings. But there's relative truth. How somebody chooses to have sleep cycles or what they do is different for each person. Some people like to stay really late up at night. Some people are early morning people. And so we have to honor people's relative truth. One thing that we do in the school is we really help people create their life's manual. Okay. So creating your life's manual looks like this. What are your core values? What are your principles? What do you live by? And these are the things we're never taught out in the real world. Like, what are the principles? And if you don't have the core values and core principles, and those don't align as a relationship, then you probably are going to constantly have battles. Okay. As we say, pick your battles. Okay. So if there's big things like, how you view things, like your core values of, say even your spirituality, or what you do, in politics, or how you believe the importance of family is. These are really important core things that hopefully you align to. We want to get to a place where you don't sweat the small stuff. Okay. So controlling how somebody goes to sleep, right? That may not be something worth fighting for. Okay. It may be something like, hey, we go to bed at different times and you've chosen to raise your kids like this. I've chosen to raise my kids like this. So we're going to do it, honor both truths. How can we come together in something that works for both of us, but not make the other person wrong? Or you need to do it the way we've always been doing it, right? That is not very practical. Okay. So you need to pick your battles, or you need to know who you are and not settle. One or the other, right? You really, truly, it's two power stances. You either see it all as miraculous, or you literally hold exactly the vision that you have in mind, and definitely not making someone wrong, because we know that's going to end in just arguments and really a relationship and a life not fun at all. Okay. So it's really about getting your life's manual and taking a responsibility around who you are and what really, really matters to you in your relationship. Okay. So Jessica, I'm just going to hold you in my heart, and I'm going to know, hey, it's not about him. It's about you getting really clear of what is your truth and what you want to live by. But if you're so regimented around every little thing, guess what? You're going to be really alone late at night, and for the rest of your life, at the end of your life, right? So you want to make sure that you're not being too strict and not making anybody able to fit your standards. Okay. Great question. Okay. And then, and also, if you're somebody who wants to come in and do the life's manual, you can begin by actually going below. You can actually get the universal law calendar and begin to implement some of these core distinctions into your life. Okay. Next is the weekly universal law. So every week in the school and everything, we really embody one of these universal laws. And there's one universal law. It's the law of oneness, the law of cause and effect, right? But there's many, many distinctions. And as you'll see behind me, I have a universal law oracle cards as 52 universal laws. They're not even available right now. We just pulled them actually from Amazon, but we may put them back. We've been having some issues there, but they have been like, people love them so much. Okay. But the universal law of attachment, non-attachment, you can actually get that distinction. You can download the universal law calendar, and every week on Sunday at 11:11, it doesn't disturb any calendar, any other calendar, and you can get the distinction. It has a beautiful picture in there of the card. It has a distinction of what the law is and a journaling prompt to go with it. So universal law of non-attachment. Okay. The law reminds us basically that we have to understand that if we attach to how something is going to happen, or what is going to happen, and we want it to be this exact way, we're actually stifling the process of the creative process through outlining, but we're also attaching to it. And that means we're handing our power over to it in the external world. So an example of this would be, let's pretend that you're building, like I built a beautiful community and certification school and stuff. And imagine that I needed to hold on to that exactly as it is. Well, it may change. The world changes. How people want to be educated through AI will change over years, right? I have to flow with how the creation on the planet does. If I hold on to it and go, it has to happen exactly this way, and it's attaching onto it exactly in this way, then it's not gonna work. Okay. So all of our creations, we can't take anything with us in this lifetime. Okay. So we have to create something, but also totally release it with non attachment and allow that or something greater. Okay, you guys, our time is up. I'm trying to keep these podcasts to 11 minutes so that we can dive in here super quick, get into it, get our mind right, and get on with our spiritual practice, our life, whatever we're up to creating in here. Okay. So let's take a deep breath in. We put our hands together to connect the right and left hemisphere of the brain, to connect the heart with the head. And I just recognize right here, right now, this divine energy update of recognizing that you are the backing of all energy. Consciousness is the backing and directs energy, that you are the I am. You are one with the creator. You are that. You are the almighty, the of the intelligence at the core of each and every one of your cells, molecules. And I simply know a divine life. I simply know this as you get your mind right every single week, that this is the divine destiny for you to live an abundant and prosperous and miraculous life you love. I simply know this in the name of truth, as together we say, and so it is. Okay, you guys, again, you can grab the Universal Law calendar below. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth.